Welcome viewers, you're watching my YouTube channel BioHub and I'm your facilitator Dr. Seema Sharma. Dear viewers, we are on chapter number 9, Reproduction in Animals. We are covering this chapter part-wise and this video is about part 4 of this chapter. In this, I have covered fertilization and embryo development in human beings. Before proceeding with the content, let me take you hurriedly to the journal layout of this chapter. This chapter, Reproduction in Animals, it is basically divisible into 3 parts. Segment number 9.1, in this you learnt about meaning of this term reproduction, its importance and its 2 basic modes. Segment number 9.2 is dealing with sexual reproduction and certain specific terms related to sexual reproduction, but the major focus of this segment is about sexual reproduction in case of human beings. And the last segment of this chapter is segment number 9.3 is about asexual reproduction in animals. Viewers, if you want to learn about this chapter in a systematic way, it's 3 videos already there on my channel BioHub. So I suggest you to go through those before watching this video. It will help you to connect well with this video. Though the flow of information of this video is as per the content given in your NCERT science textbook on page number 104 and 105. But this video is supplemented by taking certain facts, features and flowcharts from other books to take care of the needs of all those viewers who are studying from other books prescribed by their respective school, whether they are studying from CBSE or ICSE board. So now, without further delay, let's get started. Viewers, if you will watch this video till the end, 5 things are going to be crystal clear for you forever. First, fertilization in human beings. Second, embryo development. Third, the basic difference between zygote, embryo and fetus. Fourth, what is in vitro fertilization. Fifth, who are test tube babies. So these things, they are explained in detail in this video. So stay tuned and watch this video till the end. Reproduction in humans. Human beings are unisexual. Means only one reproductive system is present in one individual. If it's a male, only male reproductive system is present in its body. If it's a female, she will have only female reproductive system. Male sex cells, they are called sperm and they are the smallest cell in human body. On the other hand, female sex cells, they are called as eggs or ova. Singular is ovum and that is about 120 micrometer in size. And this is the largest cell as far as human body is concerned. Fertilization is internal, means it takes place inside the female reproductive system. Next point about sexual reproduction in human is that embryo development is of viviparous type. Viviparous means human beings, they give birth to young ones. So this entire process, the entire process of embryo development, it takes 9 months or 280 days or 40 weeks. And this is called as the duration of pregnancy in case of human beings. During pregnancy, there is gradual increase in the size of the uterus, which is one of the part of female reproductive system. So in order to understand the process of fertilization, the process of embryo development, fetus development, you should have idea beforehand about the normal measurement of the uterus, its placement and comparison. So the uterus, it's just an inverted pear-shaped structure. It is located in the pelvis between the urinary bladder and the rectum in female body. And normal measurement is 7 centimeter in length and 4 centimeter wide. And its weight is approximately 30 to 40 grams. But as the pregnancy in case of human beings, it goes up to 40 weeks. So The measurement of uterus at 40th week of pregnancy is more than 35 into 25 into 22 centimeter length, width and height. During these 9 months, there is gradual increase in the size of uterus more than 5 to 6 times, and the weight also increases multifold. So these are few points which are directly related to sexual reproduction in human beings, and their knowledge is must if you want to understand the process of fertilization and embryo development. Now coming to our first objective, fertilization in humans. Fertilization, fusion of sperm and ovum, it is called fertilization and very well depicted in these two pictures. So during sexual reproduction, there is fusion of the nucleus of ovum and sperm within that egg, and this leads to the production of third cell, which is known as zygote. So this picture is depicting what fusion of nucleus of male and female and formation of zygote. So this zygote, which is a fertilized egg, which is the first cell of new organism, it changes over a period of time. There is repeated cell division and it forms the new organism. And same is visible in this pictorial representation. So viewers, once upon a time, you were also a single cell fertilized egg. I was also a single cell fertilized egg, and we have started our life as zygote. This is about fertilization, but where is it taking place in human beings? So for that, you should have clear idea what female reproductive system and its various parts. During sexual reproduction, sperms, they are deposited into the vagina part of the female reproductive system, and these sperms, and they are a million in number and they are motile, they can move. So they swim and they start moving upward into the uterus and they go up to the fallopian tube or oviduct. You also know that ovaries, they produce female sex cells called eggs or ova, and they are released into the fallopian tube in a monthly cyclic process. So now you have to visualize that sperms, they are proceeding towards oviduct. Ovary has released one mature egg into the oviduct, single egg or ovum. It is surrounded by a million of sperms in the initial part or fallopian tube, and this is the place where fertilization takes place. So if the question is where does fertilization take place in case of human beings, the answer should be fallopian tube or oviduct. Fertilization leads to zygote formation. So this zygote has nuclei of both father and mother, or you can say male and female, and they contain the chromosomes. When chromosomes have genes on them, so that is why the new individual, it inherits characters from both mother and father. We are also end product of sexual reproduction, and we have inherited few features from our father, few features from our mother, and this is the reason. So this was about fertilization in human beings. Here what you have learned, that fertilization takes place in the oviduct or fallopian tube. Another thing which you learned, that during fertilization, it's the nucleus, both male and female, they fuse together to form the zygote or fertilized egg. Here I would like to apprise you that by simply counting the number of young ones delivered by any organism, we can clearly make out the number of eggs released from the ovary or ovaries. Number of eggs released from ovaries, it varies from species to species. In case of human beings, on an average, one egg is released per ovary and one individual is born per delivery. But there are chances of twins, triplets, quadruplets also. How they are born, I'll let you know in this video only. So stay tuned and watch this video till the last. So now let's move on to our next objective, which is embryo development. Before proceeding with that, I want you to just pay attention to this diagram. Children, see, there are certain steps of embryo development. First step, egg will be released from the ovary and it will enter into the fallopian tube. Second step deals with the fusion of the one of the sperm with the egg and its nucleus will be poured into the egg, and both the nuclei, they will fuse with each other and there will be formation of zygote. This zygote, it will gradually push downward towards uterus. In step 3, the fertilized egg, it started division and now it is two-celled. And likewise, it will go for repeated division and finally in the step 4, it is getting attached to the inner wall of the uterus. So that is what you have to retain in your mind when we are discussing about this movement of fertilized egg or zygote from the fallopian tube to the uterus part. Now let's understand the same thing with the help of simple pictures, that after fertilization with zygote, it travels down the oviduct coming towards the uterus. When it is pushed downward, it is also going for division. There is repeated cell division. On day 1, it is single celled. By the end of second day, it is two-celled and likewise keeps on dividing, redividing, and it is forming a ball of cells. All cells are similar. And this developing structure, for the first 8 weeks, it is called embryo. So embryo gets embedded in the inner wall of the uterus, and where the rest of the development of this embryo, it continues. Initially, all cells, they are same as shape, size, and they are called stem cells. Stem cells, they are very important cells. This group of cells, they have ability to form any kind of cell of human body. During cell differentiation and maturation, these stem cells, they get different duties to perform within that developing embryo, and gradually its body parts like head, hand, legs, they also start developing and taking shape. All body parts, they are not clearly visible in the initial stages of embryo development. But when this embryo enters into the 9th week of development, by that time, all the body parts of the developing would-be child, they are clearly visible and identifiable. So at this stage of embryonic development, this developing embryo, it is called fetus. F-O-E-T-U-S. So like you can see here, all body parts, they are clearly identifiable. Fetus, it also gradually keeps on developing, and finally when the all body parts, they assume the right size and form, the development is complete and the individual is born. And this clip is clearly depicting the different stages of embryo development in case of human being, right from zygote to birth of the baby. Now you can very well imagine that once upon a time we started our life as a single cell, as zygote, and when we came in this world, we were about trillions of cells. So this is how embryo development takes place in case of human beings. Viewers, when I was discussing about embryo development, I laid emphasis on 3 terms. First was zygote, second was embryo, and third was fetus. So let's know what are the basic structural and functional differences between these 3 important terms. Let's start with the number of cells. Zygote is single cell, means it is made up of only one cell. On the other hand, embryo is multicellular, means it has more than one cell, but generally the number will be in hundreds. But in case of fetus, the number of cells will be in lakhs, in millions, billions, and finally in trillions. Next point is this zygote. It is formed by the fusion of nuclei of sperm and ovum. Embryo, it is formed by the repeated cell division in zygote, and fetus, it is the end product of repeated cell division in embryo. Third point, in case of zygote stage, body parts are not formed. In case of embryo, formation of body parts is there, but they are not visibly identifiable in this stage. Whereas in case of fetus, body parts are clearly identifiable. Fourth point, zygote is the shortest part of embryonic development in case of human being, just 1.5 days. And thereafter up to 8 weeks, it is embryo. And from 9th week till the baby is delivered, it is called fetus. So these are the basic structural and functional differences between these three important terms: zygote, embryo, and fetus. So viewers, now you know fate of fertilized egg, that gradually it is converting into an embryo, that is converting into a fetus, and finally baby is delivered. But if that egg is not getting fertilized, then what is its fate? So let's make a comparative account of fate of unfertilized and fertilized egg. First thing is egg or the ovum, its maturation starts in the ovary. This mature ovum or egg, it is released into the fallopian tube or oviduct. When this ovulation is taking place, in the same time, there is thickening of inner lining of the uterus. Uterus prepares for the implantation of coming egg, whether it's fertilized or unfertilized. If it's the unfertilized egg, means it has not come in contact with the sperm, then this unfertilized egg, though it has got implanted in the uterus wall, in a wall, and it will be immediately supplied with thick blood vessels and other materials. It's an unfertilized egg. It's not required anymore in the body and it should be thrown out. So its blood supply, food supply, they are gradually cut off, and that denatured unfertilized egg along with the thick and soft inner lining of the uterus wall, it will be thrown out in the form of blood clots for 4 to 5 days, and that is called menstruation. So this is the fate of unfertilized egg. It is thrown out monthly in a cyclic process, on an average after 28 to 30 days. On the other hand, if the egg is a fertilized one, then the menstruation stops, and that fertilized egg or the zygote, it gradually transforms into embryo, embryo transforms into fetus, and then the young one is delivered. I'm sure many of your queries will be sorted out with the help of this comparative account. Now, next question which must be coming in your mind maybe, how are twins born? Twins, two offsprings, two babies resulting from the same pregnancy, usually born in close succession, are called twins. Triplets, three babies born in the same pregnancy. Quadruplets, four in the same pregnancy. So how they are born? Sometimes they exactly resemble each other. Sometimes they don't resemble each other at all. So how come it is possible? So children, for this, you have to understand that these twins, they are of two types. First one is identical twins. They are monozygotic. वो एक ही zygote के बने हुए हैं. One zygote, gradually it splits into two and there will be formation of twins. And the second category is fraternal twins. They are dizygotic twins. Now what are these dizygotic twins? जो दो अलग zygote के बने हैं. This means दो अलग eggs होंगे, दो अलग sperm से fertilization हुई, इसलिए two zygotes बन रहे हैं, and they are called fraternal twins. So children, monozygotic, they are the end product of same zygote. They are exactly similar to each other and they will always be of same sex. Whereas fraternal twins can be one boy and a girl. They can be two boys, they can be two girls, and it's not necessary that they should exactly resemble each other. So I'm sure now you will be able to recognize who are the monozygotic twins and who are the dizygotic twins. Great. Now coming to in vitro fertilization. First question is, what is in vitro fertilization? So in vitro fertilization is fertilization under artificial conditions. Now why it is required? Children, there are couples who are married for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years and they don't have children, because there is some issue is there with respect to their reproductive system. So they are not able to go ahead with the normal fertilization. So in that case, they go for in vitro fertilization. So let's know about this. What is in vitro fertilization and what are test tube babies? The fertilization of an egg with sperm, it is carried out in a glass dish or a glass tube rather than in the body of the woman. So this is commonly known as test tube baby technique or in vitro fertilization technique. What exactly is done in this process? Eggs, they are removed from the ovary of female, sperms are taken from the male, and the sperms, they are mixed with the egg in glass dish or test tube in the laboratory. When eggs, they get fertilized and there is formation of embryo, those embryos, they are implanted or placed in women's uterus. After some time, these embryos, they develop into fetus and later develop into baby. So that is how the test tube babies, they are formed. One more thing which I wanted to clear here, that test tube babies, they are not completely formed in the test tube. Only the fertilization and the initial part of embryo development, it is carried out in the lab, and that embryo, it is planted in the uterus of the female, and thereafter rest of the process is same. Now coming to test tube babies. This part is the most amazing part of this video. Meet Louis, the world's first test tube arrival. On 25th of July 1978, in England, one baby was born and it was the first test tube baby of the world. In 2022, Louise Brown is going to celebrate her 44th birthday. When the whole world was celebrating the arrival of Louise Brown, there was one gynecologist in India, Dr. Subhash Mukherjee or Subhash Mukhopadhyay from West Bengal. He also came up with first test tube baby of India on 3rd October 1978, and her name is Kanupriya Agarwal. But at that time, special permissions were required to carry out this IVF, and it was not taken by Dr. Subhash Mukhopadhyay. So the credit for coming up with the first test tube baby in India goes to Dr. Indira Hinduja of Bombay Hospital, and first documented test tube baby of India is Harsha Chadha, who was born on 6th August 1986. So with this, we are through with the content of this video, and now it's time to summarize. In this video, my viewers have learnt about fertilization in humans. You also learnt about embryo development and its various phases. We also decoded the meaning of zygote, embryo and fetus with the help of a tabulated account. You learnt about the importance or necessity of in vitro fertilization, and lastly, you came across first test tube babies of world and India. So with this, it's time to go for self-assessment with the help of a worksheet which I have prepared for you. And I suggest you to go through all these 3 questions. The next video of this chapter is about the concluding part of reproduction in animals, and it is part 5 of this chapter. In this, you will get to know about asexual reproduction and its different types in case of animals. So with this, it's time to sign out. Thanks for supporting BioHub. If you are a new viewer, I welcome you. If you are a frequent visitor, I suggest you to please do subscribe to my channel. Come up with your comments and views in the response section. And don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Do share the link of my channel with your fellow friends. I'm sure it will be of some help to them. Hope to see you in my next video. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.